And a good Thursday afternoon to you. This weather video is driven by 802cars.com, representing 802 Toyota, Twin Cities Subaru, and 802 Honda, all located off of exit 7 on Interstate 89. Roger Hill of VELCO Weather Hazards Forecaster, Weathering Heights. And what you can see here is interesting, just a really stuck weather pattern. So what we have here is a weather pattern that features a big ridge of higher pressure and a lot of these west coast moisture, out Pacific moisture coming into the Gulf of Alaska, and then diving back down into a trough of lower pressure like this. And this has been spinning up basically daily bouts of thunderstorms. The pattern is basically locked in right now. It's kind of almost like what we call a Rex block. And it is a situation where the pattern is just not going to become dislodged anytime soon. It tries to, and then it kind of goes back to its default position. The net effect is daily thunderstorms, tornadic thunderstorms, terrible outbreaks, and severe flooding through this particular area here. This carries over across and around this kind of heat ridge, the Bermuda High, and this whole process is just delivering a lot of clouds. We're on the cool sector, thankfully, because if we were in the warm sector, we'd be catching thunderstorms, which has been also a every other day kind of thing, or nearly every day, across parts of Pennsylvania and into New York City in the Middle Atlantic. So this is a situation that is just kind of a stuck weather pattern, with this main trough is the culprit here. Quick look at the country as a whole here. You can see this is the 500 heights, 500 hectopascals, and this is the area of low pressure up in Canada, near James Bay, Canada. This is sort of an extended trough that connects up with the West Coast trough, another area of low pressure here, located in Northern California and Oregon. To see that in late May like this, almost June, is a little bit different. And so this has been the stuck weather pattern where thunderstorms, occasionally severe, affect Texas, Oklahoma, parts of the deep south, and then this transits into toward New England. But at this point in time, we're a little bit more on the cool side, as you can see with temperatures here. Dew points also really explain what's going on, but note the warmth in the southeast United States with temperatures already in the 90s, all the way up into around the little south of Washington, D.C. And this is the dew point temperatures, and these dew point temperatures basically in the 60s mean convective available potential energy. Looking at that, this matches up well with the mesoscale fill here. You can see that this is Cape convective available potential energy, and it is remaining to our south. It looks like it's going to make a run at us, not until somewhere along about, that would be late Saturday night, really early Sunday morning, and then another run for Sunday afternoon and evening with some thunderstorms. Most of these look relatively benign at this point. 6-hourly increments of the European model. Dry weather today, that's the good news. We have a little bit of rain shower activity that's going to be basically to the north of us and also to the south of us. It's going to kind of flirt very, very close to the Massachusetts line as well as across the Quebec border region. You see that area of low pressure that's kind of working its way toward the Canadian Maritimes to our north and northeast. That's going to be pushing on out, pulling that tail across the region toward tonight. This is tomorrow's forecast, valid here about 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday. We're looking at nice dry weather for a change, just like today. Now, beyond that point, it looks like we start to see a little bit of a sprinkle start to work on in. It looks like late in the day on Saturday into Saturday night. A little more convective as it takes place, it looks like, on Sunday morning. And then the main event will be a cold front with an area of low pressure forming and then pulling that cold front through. It looks like this will trigger some showers and thunderstorms. Some of the thunderstorms we'll have to watch, especially late in the day on Sunday and into Sunday night. And by the time we get into Monday, it looks like that moves on out, but we're still kind of flirting with a little bit of shower activity, but not really till as we get into Monday night that pushes on through, a very weak disturbance. And then by the time we get into Tuesday, things start to improve, it looks like, with Wednesday, another shot of moisture working on in. Just note how cold it is, 5,400 meter thicknesses up across Canada, occasionally get down into Quebec. It's just the weather pattern. It's just been crazy cold. And this has displaced colder weather due to high pressure up the Arctic, and that high latitude blocking is forcing all this further off to the south. Look at the GFS ensemble. You can see that a fairly dry period here to start, and a little bit of a showery scenario. Nothing of any great shakes at this point. We are looking at the total QPF to start to rise around a half an inch or so. So this is less than what we've been seeing for about the past couple of weeks, as it has been so wet. 850 hectopascal temperatures show pretty good. Winds also have a tendency to behave here, much less than 40 knots on the whole. And 2-meter temperatures look like this. So we see a little bit of a warm-up here, at least near 70, a little bit of a dip in the early part of the week, Monday and Tuesday, and so forth. Still looks pretty wet coast to coast, even showers and some thunderstorms producing some lighter precipitation out in the interior west. You can see the main storm track. Basically, you can follow it right here. And it does go through Pennsylvania to the south of our region. Secondary storm track with heavier precipitation up to the north and east, and that's been the case. 1 through 5 day meteorological output statistical mean. This is daily high temperatures and where they stand. We're running about 3 to 6 degrees below normal for this time of year. A little bit of a warm-up out in the northwestern part of the U.S., kind of neutral otherwise. Cold stuff still across a good portion of Canada and mainly northern Canada. And about 3 days later, a little bit of a warm-up, 3 to 6 degrees still below normal overall. Temperature should be basically averaging closer, daily highs anyway, around 75. And last but not least, this is our anomalous temperatures currently across the region. Look at the Arctic, and you can see they're running 2.5 degrees Celsius above normal. Antarctic only about 0.3 above normal, so kind of a mixed bag here. You can see a cold anomalous air mass here, and then of course across Canada, kind of bleeding into Vermont, and this is the reason why we are chilly with this kind of weather pattern right here. Of course being displaced out of Alaska, which has been running fairly warm, and that is all the way down into western parts of Canada. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights, thanks for watching.